New World Alliance Proprietary Limited was a manufacturer of cloth and was a subsidiary of a larger corporate group. By the late 1980s, New World Alliance was in considerable difficulty and relied on capital injections from its parent entity to stay afloat. In 1991, a sudden surge of orders occurred, which sounds like a good thing, but it put additional demands on the company for capital in order to service that new demand. Unfortunately, at this point, the parent group was also incurring substantial losses and couldn't continue to bail out New World Alliance. It went into liquidation. The very nature of insolvency is that a company cannot pay its debts, so a liquidation almost inevitably leaves the creditors unsatisfied. A common response is to pursue the directors of the liquidated company personally for the liabilities, on the basis that the company has continued to trade while insolvent. Directors can be personally responsible for debts incurred if a company trades while insolvent. The question then becomes precisely how we tell when a company becomes insolvent. The test is an objective test, so it asks whether a reasonable person in the position of a director would have formed the view that the corporation could no longer meet its debts. But even this leaves room for a number of different approaches. One approach, the harshest approach, is the balance sheet approach, which simply asks whether the company has more liabilities, more debts, than it has assets. This approach is very favourable to creditors because it means insolvency kicks in much earlier, so there's more chance of directors being liable. In this case, however, Justice Gummow rejected this approach, saying that the question of insolvency is not dealt with by analysing a hypothetical instantaneous liquidation. If debts are long-term and the company is making profits, it may be that a company with a substantial indebtedness could trade its way out of difficulties. What is required is an analysis of the assets and financial resources of the company and its likely liabilities and probable dates that these will fall due, to ascertain whether it is reasonable to expect that one or more of these liabilities will not be able to be met. So the question is not whether the company has an excess of assets. The question is whether the company can make its payments into the future as they fall due.